Yo, 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 welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. And before we get to our guest today, we have a big shout out for Living Sisu. Living Sisu is a platform and app that wants to give you all the tools to have success in your sport. Their main objective is to activate your lifestyle. So it's for active people. Enjoy discounts at companies like BioSteel, 30% off, Body Logics, the Goalie Guild, all his books are discounted. Roan, Lululemon for men, 20% off, online stretching programs with Eccentrics, 1 full month free. They got super silent massage guns, 20% off those. And it's a great quality. It's way less expensive than a Theragun, and it's great quality. So there's so many more discounts that you guys will need to just become a member to see. So they want to provide you with anything you need for success. So come join the community. I'm a part of it. A bunch of other athletes are a part of it. So it's free to join. It takes 20 seconds to get exclusive offers to your sport, and it's definitely worth it. So do us a huge favor and go sign up for Living Sisu's membership. It's free, takes 20 seconds. So go do it, and we'll see you there. Living Sisu is a great company. We know one of the co-founders, Zach Fricali. He's a great guy. He's the co-founder. He does a lot of live streams on Instagram at Living Sisu, with a bunch of elite athletes, and you learn a lot from like the athletes' determination, their resiliency, everything to what made them become successful. So it's been a great experience so far. So go on. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. So go sign up. Oh, welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and in today's episode, we are joined by a very special guest, good friend of the show, and a very familiar guest on the show, Frankie McClendon. Frankie was previously on episode 34 and episode 111. Frankie just recently signed and is currently playing games in the Federal Hockey League with the Danbury Hat-Tricks after getting signed in late November. I am very excited to have Frankie back on the show, as he's always a great guest to have on and has become a good buddy of mine over the course of the year and has worked so hard for the opportunity in Danbury. So it's going to be a fun episode with Frankie. So welcome back to the show, Frankie McClendon.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks for having me, man. It's good to
Yeah,
be
of
back.
course. Yeah, third time on the show. How you feeling after that?
Oh, it's good, man. Plus, it was good to see you over the summertime in Chicago when I was up there training. And it was good to hear stories about you at a prospect camp as well. So we had a great time up there. So it's good to be back on the show too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, how have you been? Like, it's been a crazy summer, a crazy year for you. So like, how's everything going with you?
Man, it's been a whirlwind of a summer. I was training a bunch in Chicago, driving a lot of miles on my Forerunner. I can tell you that right now. A lot of 14-hour trips from Raleigh, North Carolina to Chicago, and then a lot of trips from Chicago to Indiana for a free agent camp in the SPHL, and then back to the SPHL where I signed for the first part of the season for about a month, and then back to Raleigh again. So it's been a lot of wear and tear on my body, but it's nice that I found a home here in Danbury, Connecticut.
Yeah, so you signed in late November after getting released from the SB. So like, what
Mhm.
has it been like playing in Danbury and finally having a team to play for? And you've actually been pretty successful as well in your playing game. So it's all that
Uh,
matters.
yeah, honestly, it was a great experience to be in the SPHL because that was basically the goal for the summertime, was to go to SPHL camp and try to make a team. Um, I did well in the free agent camp, but they went different directions where they had two goalies signed at that time. But I got a call from the coach. I forgot when it was. Like I think probably a week before the SP camps, training camps even started, and they said, "Hey, we lost a goalie to the coast. We really liked you at camp. How soon can you get here?" And I told the coach, "Hey, I can be there on Friday." So like 2 days later, I ended up packing up everything and I drove from Raleigh to Danville, Illinois, where the new SPHL team Vermilion County was, and it was an awesome experience. And I knew my time there was probably going to be limited because you know how the ladder works and the trickle down effects happen. They had already had a goalie sign; he was in the coast, and he ended up getting sent down. So I wasn't really signed to a contract. I was only on PTO. And next thing you know, I was put on waivers. So I had to go back to Raleigh and I had to play that waiting game for 3 weeks. And that was the most stressful moment because I didn't know where I was going to play. And I know I talked to a couple FPHL teams. I ended up talking to my old team in Carolina. I was trying to go back there, but it just didn't work out, and I think it was the right choice. And then Danbury, they lost one of their goalies. Don't know the situation there, but one of my buddies was like, "Hey, what do you feel about coming up here to Danbury?" And I was like, "Is that even a question you want to ask me again?" And I talked to the coach, I talked to the GM, and it was the perfect fit for me, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like it's good to get finally be back on a team, especially after that 3 weeks of not knowing where you're gonna play. But like when you
Yeah.
first got to Danbury, like what was the feeling like and just being able to just show up and get back to work and know that you had they offer you a starting job at that time too, right?
Yeah, basically, when I got here, I knew a couple of the guys on the team already who I played against for the past 4 years, whatnot. And it was nice to see those guys and basically walk into a locker room where it was like a fresh locker room. It's like a split group of veterans and rookies. It's like the equal amount. So when walking in here on the first day, it was just like it's a family type atmosphere, and I loved every minute of it. Guys joking around, and there's guys that actually take things seriously too. And when I got here and I saw the group of guys and I saw the skill set, I was like, man, this team can go pretty far. And they were already on the winning streak coming in. I guess they were already in first or second place at that time. We're still in first or second place. It's a toss up right now for first, but no, it's a good group of guys here, and I love it. And yeah, the coach at that time talked to me. He was like, "Hey, how do you feel about playing the first 2 games?" And I just got there, and I was like, I made a joke with him, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll let you know tomorrow." And then that next day at practice, I was like, "Coach, I'll be good. I'll be good for the first 2 games. I'll be fine."
Yeah, that's awesome. I bet you were really excited to play those first 2 games. Like, what was that first game like? More importantly, since it was the first game, and I don't know how long, but it was
It
a
was like
while before.
2 years. It was like 2 years since my last game.
Yeah, so like, what was it like playing a game after 2 years of not playing?
Honestly, it was the first time, and I told a couple of my friends and coaches, it was the first time of a hockey game in my pro career where I wasn't nervous. I didn't even think about the game on the bus ride because the first game I had to play was on the road, and then the next night was a home game. But that was the first game I didn't even think about the game. I wasn't nervous. I didn't have the shakes or nothing. And I think it all comes back to like what I did over the summertime with a bunch of my goalie coaches and a couple of my friends like who I skate with in summertime. I'm finally at a point where I'm realizing I can only control what I can control. I
Yeah,
don't worry about what the coach thinks of me. I don't worry about what the players think of me on the ice. I don't worry about, oh, am I going to get released the next day? Am I going to get traded the next day or whatever? Like I have a new outlook on like my mental state of hockey, and I just don't worry about games. I just know I have to show up and I have to play my game, and that's the only thing I can control is the way that I play.
yeah, absolutely, and that's all you can control is just playing your game, stopping the puck, and just everything else that happens doesn't matter, and you just got to focus on what you're doing right now and stopping the puck.
Right, and honestly, I it felt good after getting that first shot, and it was a weird shot that had happened. It was like a dump in. The guy like gets up to the blue line, he just dumped the puck in on net. And then I just told myself, I was like, all right, first shot in 2 years of the game. I was like, 1 for 1 right now. Let's just keep it going. We ended up losing that game in overtime. And we were short guys that game, but like the team battled hard in front of me, and I wasn't trying to lose that game too, since I just got to the team. But to have 50 plus shots after the first game, it was pretty nice feeling to come away with 1 point. I wanted to have 3 points, but you know, a point's a point, so I'll take it.
Yeah, exactly. But like, what was it like facing 50 shots during your first game and just being able to really get the feel of the puck back and really get your game back on track?
It felt amazing. I honestly thought it was gonna be, like, a little sluggish here and there, but I knew all the work that I did with my goalie coach, Oliver, in Chicago, that's what led up to that moment, you know? Like, basically, our first goal was for me to be in the SP. That was a goal, but, some things don't work out, and you know what? I'm not mad about it because now I'm still playing, I'm somewhere I'm playing, and that game, it was a good game. I think it set the tone for like, hey, yeah, I could be a starter here and I could be a starter in a different league. So, I mean, it worked out in all its bets.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember texting you after that first game, and you're like, "I just had fun, and I just wanted to go out there and play my game," and that's what you did,
Exactly.
and it literally showed. Because you would think you'd be a little rusty after 2 years of not playing a game, but you just went in there because you trusted your training and trusted everything you've been doing to get to that point,
Yeah.
and you were pretty successful in that first game.
Right. And I thought my hips were going to be on fire on that bus ride home. And luckily it was. I couldn't even sleep on the bus because I got a bunch of texts from like my friends and family. They're like telling me, hey, you played one hell of a game. Like, sucks that you guys lost in overtime, but you played a hell of a game. I was like, yeah, point to point. I felt good about my game. I was like, I know I need to work on again, but they weren't bad goals. Like, if I came in and gave up bad goals in my first game, that would be a problem. But those were like good shots that I beat me. Like, minor breakdowns that we had as a team, but they were good shots.
Yeah, absolutely. So then you go into your second game, like what? Because it was back to back games, right?
Yeah, it was back to back, one on
Yeah.
the
Well,
road and then at
what
home.
was it like being going back to back and playing that second half of that game?
The back to back, I think that's what's tough sometimes about playing back to backs. You get tired, especially after seeing a lot of shots the first night. Like, you're seeing everything the first night, right? And then the second night, it might not go your way. So the second night really didn't go my way. Like, I felt a little sluggish, but I was still battling hard, trying to get the win for a team. But Watertown, they're a good skilled team. And I remember they had signed some guy that like had played in the AHL or something. And I was like, why is this guy here? I think his name's Jimmy Lodge or something, but like, good player. And I remember I had one breakaway, stop this one guy, and then out of nowhere he gets a breakaway and he goes the same spot and then he scores this time. So I was like, oh, whatever. But the atmosphere to play in front of that Danbury fan group, oh my gosh, best fans in the league. Let me tell you that. I thought Carolina was good. I take that back. Danbury, they have a rowdy group. Let me tell you that.
Yeah. So what's it like playing in front of Danbury fans and just having, especially since you played there for 9, 10 games and just knowing that fan base now?
I'm just glad that I'm not on the opposing team because I remember the first year I came into the league and they were the Danbury Titans at that time. And I remember, they give it to the opposing goalies on the bench and on the ice. Like, after every goal, they yell "Siv, Siv, Siv." And I know there's one guy on the like in the stands. Like, if the goalie's sitting on the bench, he walks to the bench and he's like, "Hey, are you going to go in? Are you going to go in?" Every time there's a goal given up, I saw it happen last night against Port Huron. I felt so bad for the goalie, but I love that group. Like, no one takes it personally. They love to have fun with you after the game too. They'll hold a
Yeah.
conversation with you after the game. But like, during the game, if you're the opposing team, you're the enemy. So it's a
Yeah.
good group. I love the atmosphere there and I love the fans.
Yeah. As long as you're on Danbury's side, there's no problem at all.
Right, right.
Yeah. So then you go into your third game, which this is where you play in Binghamton and get the
Right.
win, right? So like,
Right.
what was it
Yeah.
like getting that first win in 2 years and playing in an AHL barn?
Getting the win was awesome because I remember that's when we were like on that 2 game little skid there. But getting that first win in Binghamton, first win of the season, it was like a weight was taken off my shoulders. Playing in the AHL barn, that was something else too. Like I didn't think it was gonna work in Binghamton at first because like, hey, they lost the AHL team, now they're getting a Fed team. But after being there and playing one game there so far, and they've had like kind of sellout crowds and whatnot, it's a great barn to play in. Like I'm glad they put a Fed team there because it makes it easier for like the Watertown and Danbury, like they can split games, and go play in Binghamton and stuff. And it's a nice town too. Like I don't know, I haven't talked to a few friends up there, but I don't know if there's a lot to do in that area. But like Syracuse is very close, and like Watertown's like there too. So yeah.
Yeah. So what's it like being the opposing goaltender there? Because I know Binghamton, I have buddies on that team, and they said their fan base is awesome. But what is it like as an opposing goalie going to bingo?
I honestly don't know because I wasn't really paying attention to the crowd because I was too busy playing. But no, I think they get on you, they yell and stuff. But I was just too focused on the game, and like that was going to be a tough week because I think we had a 4-game road trip, so I wasn't really too worried about that fan base or whatnot. But it was nice, like even if like I gave up a goal or whatnot, I would just look up at the jumbotron, just watch the replay, and I was like, okay, that's kind of cool to look at what mistake I made. So
Yeah, for sure. And it's also another funny story because when we did go, when we did hang out in Chicago when you were here, we were talking about like the new Fed team coming to bingo, and you said that'd be a sick place to play. And it's funny that
yeah,
you get your first win in Binghamton
yeah,
Stadium, and you get that first win
yeah.
in bingo.
Yeah. So I mean, it's nice that it's close, and it's gonna be cool because I think we played like the later half of this season. We have a lot of games against Binghamton and Binghamton as well. So let's hope we can get more wins in that arena.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, what have been some of the things that you've learned since playing a lot more games than you have in the past 2 years and just gaining that experience back after not playing for a while?
I learned not to hold on to things. That was a main thing that I learned in the summertime. Like, yeah, you just have to shrug things off. Like, you can only control what you can control again. Um, I know how like I have to get my body prepared especially if I'm going to play a back to back. I haven't been playing a lot back to backs lately since we got a new goalie after I came in. After I was here for 2 weeks, we got another goalie, Brian Wilson, nasty goalie that played at Niagara. But main thing is, and I've learned from him too, is like how I take care of my body before and after practice. Definitely, I wasn't a big hydrate guy, but I definitely am now because like I have a lot of liquid IVs. I drink like 3 of those a day, but I just prepare the same way that I always prepare. I try not to think about the game. That's a main thing because I used to psych myself out. I don't think about, oh, what if this guy shoots here, or what if this guy shoots here, or what's gonna happen if I make this save. I just try to live in the moment with a lot of things now, especially with my life in general too. Like just take things slow day by day. Don't worry about things. Don't look to the future. Just stay in the moment. Because that's when you're gonna have fun. If you're not having
Yeah.
fun with it, you're not gonna do well.
Yeah, that's my biggest like quote. Like if you're not having fun, then what are you doing? Like you're not having fun, like don't that's when you psych yourself out and you're not doing so great. But
Right.
you also had some common traits with Brian Wilson when he came in because he was at Vermilion a couple weeks after
Right.
you, and then you guys also had the same roommate. So that's
Yes.
another funny story.
Yeah. So yeah, when I was in VC, I got waived. Their goalie came back, and then I was sitting at home. Then they got into goalie trouble. One of their goalies got hurt, and then another goalie got called back up to the coast. So I think Wilson was in Evansville at this time, and then he had just got released, and then he ended up signing in VC, and he was there for I think maybe 2 3 weeks. I don't know how long he was there for, but he ended up moving into the apartment that I was in, and he was ended up moving into my room, my old room. So he had to live with my old roommate Justin Laporte. And Laporte ended up getting waived by VC a week after Wilson got released, and Wilson ended up signing here. And then Laporte ended up going back to Watertown. So the next game, and I think this was Wilson's first game, was against Watertown. And next thing you know, our roommate Laporte gets on the ice for warmups, and he's skating with no bucket. And me and Wilson was like, "Is that Laporte?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I looked at him, and I started yelling at him, and I told him, I was like, "Hey, you're a rookie. You shouldn't be skating without your helmet on." I was like, "Put your freaking helmet on." I didn't say freaking, but I have to keep it PG. But yeah, I was laughing about it because I was like, this guy, this is his first year in the Fed, and he's going no bucket warm up. I was like, you at least have to have 70 games in this league to be doing that.
No
So
Bucky for warmups.
yeah, there's like some hidden there's some hidden rules, like respect rules and like veteran rules, I guess, in the Fed. I don't know. But it's like you have to play a number of games before you go no bucket warm up. I remember learning that. I think I learned that from like Croup or somebody in Columbus.
That's a funny story because no Bucky warmups. That just let the flow go. But
Yeah, he
that's
has
funny.
gold. He has Goldilocks of hair too. He has a nice flow going too. So it was funny. And then we were like talking after the game, and it was after our win actually, and like me, Wilson, and we were all like laughing and stuff, just having a good time talking about living living in Danville and stuff. So it was pretty cool.
Maybe if you have a good flow, maybe that gets you slides you through some of the rules there.
Yeah, it might. It might.
Yeah, but I want to go into Vermilion a little bit here. Like you went to over the summer, you went to Vermilion County Bobcats free agent camp. So like, what was that whole experience like, and just being able to go into a free agent camp and like a refresh look, I guess you can say, and just be able to just play your game and see how things go from there.
Uh, it was it was a weird feeling because I think that was the first time I've been to a free agent camp in like 4 years because like ever since coming to the league, I think when I first came into the Fed, that was the only time I went to like a free agent camp. And then the next few years, like I had already signed with the team because over the summertime I talked with the coach. So it was kind of a weird situation going to a free agent camp. It's like you get into the locker room, guys are looking at you, guys are trying to size up, oh, what position does he play? Oh, like, does he have a shot at making a team? So like I tried to just go and like really kind of be in my own world, not like get too hung up in it. But it was nice that there was a few guys that I played against like in the Fed that were like just trying to make an SB team. So I knew a couple of guys that played for the old Danville team in the Fed. And I knew a couple of guys that played in Carolina, and then there was like a kid that played in Minard as well. So it was nice to see some old faces, but I just went in to try to worry about my own game. But it was pretty funny because they only ended up doing two teams, but there was 9 goaltenders. And
Wow.
I was like, all right, well, this is going to be almost like a shit show with the goalies, but they ended up making it work. But I mean, it was a good skate. And it was nice because I was on my way back from Chicago. So I was already in Chicago doing my training with my goalie coach. And then on the way back, just went to the camp. So I was kind of fresh and I was feeling good too. But I think I only gave up like 1 or 2 goals that whole entire weekend of games. But I know the team I was on, we went 0-3 that entire weekend. And I wasn't happy about that. But it was nice to do it in Indy at the Indy Fuel tank where the ECHL practice. So there's, I know they had a couple ECHL like scouts there or whatnot because they were looking for the SV team as well. So it was a good experience.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of ice time too. I would imagine like couple hours
Oh yeah.
a day for like 2 or 3 days. Like what was it like skating that much?
Basically, so basically the first day we were there, we had like a 2-hour practice on that Thursday or no, Friday actually. And then Saturday and Sunday were the games. So we had 2 games on Saturday and then 1 game on Sunday. And I was like kind of playing the strategic game. Like you know how goalies are going to be. They're going to be like,
Yeah.
okay, if I start, it'll be a better chance for me. And I remember I started like probably all three straight games. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to play the first 10 minutes and I'm just going to get out the net for the next 10, 15 minutes. So I was playing this strategic game. But it didn't really matter. It was just good to like see what the level was like
Yeah.
of like where guys stood and like if guys could be in the SP or guys could be in the Fed, or some guys can even be in the coast too. You never know, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what it was like for Watertown Bingo's free agent camp. We had like an hour and a half practice on Friday. Then we get like an hour and a half break. Then we had a game from like 12 to 2 or something like that. And then another game from 5 to 6:30 or something like that. So we're on the ice quite a bit. And then Saturday we had a goalie skate and then a game to close it out. But like you learn a lot from those camps, and it's so much fun when you're out there competing and you just know your job as well. Like how you rank up against these other guys and like just pretty much go out there and do your thing and hope for the best.
Right. And I mean, it's nice when you can go into like a free agent camp or something. And yes, it's going to be intimidating. And like, I try to tell like like the younger kids, like even the rookies, like if I can tell if it's a kid's first free agent camp, like there was a goalie there and I could tell it was his first free agent camp. This kid was young and stuff. So he was kind of nervous. So like I kind of had a conversation with them. Just don't worry about it. Just go play your own game. Like, just don't think about the coach in the stands. Don't think about the owner. Don't think about the GM. Just worry about stopping pucks and stuff. And, he ended up doing pretty well. So I was happy for him. But it's kind of bad if you get guys that are in there, they think they're going to make it right away. And they think, oh, I played here before, so I know I have a shot. And then they kind of get that little kick in the butt, like it's a wake up call for them. I just hate seeing that sometimes, but it's nice, like if you can just go in the locker room and gel with certain guys,
Yeah.
But it's not always going to be like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just have fun with the guys that you meet in the locker room. And then like we had a pretty good system going where each goalie would take a period. So like the first day I was like second and third period. And then the last day I got the starting job in the first period. But we just had a nice system, and you just learn a lot from those camps too. And especially like as a younger guy, like you learn a lot and like learn to just play your game and not get too nervous or anything, or like too high or too low on yourself during those times.
Right. Yeah. And honestly, and this was really funny. I forgot to text you about this at the camp. Presentation is everything too, right? It's just like a job. It's just like a job or like an interview process that you're going through. Like you always want to be presentable. And I was on the phone with one of my buddies when I was driving home to Rye. I told him, I was like, you won't believe what I saw at a free agent camp. I saw a kid show up and he was a goalie and he wore a suit to a free agent camp. I started laughing about it, but then I thought about it. I was like, deep down, I was like, you know what? Presentation goes a long way because you never know who's around. You never know. Like a scout or somebody could be like, hey, the kid dresses nice. You don't know if he's good or not, but like, at least he's presentable. Sometimes you see guys walk in with just flip flops and like baggy clothes on or whatnot. Like, I'll just wear something very comfortable, but like presentable still, like nothing baggy, something maybe tight to wear. But like, I was kind of laughing when I saw a kid showing up to a free agent camp on day one in a suit. I was like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, for sure. But like you do gain that respect. Like this dude wants to like present himself in a good way and like do like means that he wants the job and like he's here for the job. Like that's definitely respectable though.
Yeah, I was like, and I got to meet him too, and like I talked to him. He was a goalie, so we were like laughing, talking, and I told him, I was like, honestly, man, I was like, I thought that was clutch you wearing a suit. I've never seen that happen at a free agent camp before.
What do you say when you said that?
Oh, he just started laughing. He's like, "Oh, I didn't know what to wear, man." I was like, "No, it's okay. You don't have to wear a suit to a free agent camp. Let me tell you that."
That still makes for a funny story though at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah, it was a funny story. My buddy was laughing about it on the car ride home.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. But I want to get into summer a little bit here because you talked about like the Chicago trips that you made and everything. So like
Yeah.
you trained a lot over here in Illinois and Chicago, quite a
Mhm.
bit over the summer. So like, what was that like, and just everything you learned from Oliver, your goalie coach, and just being able to just come up here and skate a few days a week.
Uh, honestly, it felt like he kind of like refreshed my memory, and he kind of like rebranded a lot of things, and it was all simple at first, and I wasn't just skating, I was working out too with Chris Haffinati. He runs like a workout group upstairs at the same rink that we were skating at. Very knowledgeable guy played in the FHL. I think he's playing the SPHL on the coast as well. Tough guy too. um Oliver kind of reset everything for me on the ice, and it was good to like kind of get a different outlook at like what I do good, what I do bad. And, I was skating with like high level guys too, like and I was meeting a lot of people too. The one guy who was shooting on me, who I met day one, played at University of Minnesota. The kid was nasty, and let me tell you, he's over in Slovakia right now. But he was a great guy, and he ended up, the next time I came up to Chicago for round two, I was able to stay at his house instead of staying in a hotel. So like, you make connections whenever you go somewhere, you make connections. And that's the best thing about hockey, or just in sports in general, because you make connection outside of the game. And that's life. That's why I love this game, because it helps you out with life. Um, but back with Oliver, yeah, it was simple things. He would videotape things on the ice. We go over it like when we had breaks on the ice, and we go over things after we skated. And it was nice to skate like every day with a goalie coach. Like, I didn't get that a lot in Raleigh, so I kind of had to make my own move. And I just reached out to somebody, and they're like, "Hey, work with this guy. He's the best." And we contacted, and we kind of gelled. And he keeps up to date with me till this day right now. I'm supposed to go on a phone call with him later on today, but he looks at my game tape. He asks me how things are going, how's my skating. He says I'm a great skater too. Um, it worked out so well. I even got one of my other buddies who's a goalie who plays in the ACHA. I think he's transferring to a different school right now. I can't say what school, but this kid literally just came up to me on the ice during the summertime in Raleigh. We gelled like we're good friends, and I ended up getting him to come up to work with Oliver as well in Chicago. So it's nice to make connections with people.
Yeah, I think connections are the biggest part because like all these connections you make, you could use, and then like you got to stay at like that one kid's house and
Yeah,
not pay for a hotel, but and like
yeah.
just the connections you make and the networking and everything, like it goes a long way, and it's fun having those connections and fun playing the game that you love.
Oh yeah. Let me tell you, it was so much fun, because there's a lot of guys um that play like D1 that work out with the same group. So I remember I had the Minnesota kid, and then there was a kid that played in North Dakota. Oh no, not North Dakota. Sorry, Notre Dame, and he ended up transferring to Mercyhurst this year for his fifth year. He's a good kid, skates and shoots. And he's so much skill. And then I remember I had a kid on, I think it was Team USA, like U17 kid shooting on me too. So like it was nice to see like pro level shots, just to keep myself
Yeah.
in game shape too. And like, I was able to skate with other players as well. But no, it was a great time in Chicago.
Yeah, where do you skate in Chicago? Heartland Ice Arena, right?
Yeah, I was
Or
at Heart. Oh yeah, I was at Heartland Ice Arena, and then I was skating at Hot Shots, which was like outside, like 30 minutes away or something from where I was
yeah,
staying.
Heartland's definitely an interesting rink though. I play there. I have a game there actually today, and like it's a interesting rink to get to for sure.
Oh yeah, it is. But no, that's why I loved going up there. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, what was your favorite part about coming up to Chicago and training and skating and hanging out with me and some of the other guys that you met up here?
Getting pizza. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. No, the fun thing was to just be around the group of guys again. That's what I was like missing a lot. Like after not playing for 2 years and like I wasn't training with a bunch of guys. Being around the guys again, like being in that element because once you walk away from the game, like once you retire, like it's gonna get tough for a lot of people,
Yeah.
and like you never know when's gonna be your last game. So like that's why I try to not take it so serious anymore. Well, I take it serious, but like I try not to worry so much. But no, the best thing about coming to Chicago is like, yeah, hanging out with you or like hanging out with a couple of friends, but going to Wrigley Field, that was fun because I'd never been to a Cubs game, and that was something like I wanted to do.
Yeah. So what was that Cubs game like, and just being in a place where Wrigley Field is an idol in Chicago?
Well, it's such a historic stadium, getting to go with I went with my buddy and then a couple other friends, and what's that? I forgot. There's a bar that's right across the street from Wrigley Field. I forgot the place, but
I
I remember
Yeah.
I think I told you that story in the text, but like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we got kicked out of that bar after the game. But no, going to Wrigley Field, watching the baseball game, it was pretty cool. And I think it was like the game after they did the whole snake with the Cubs.
Oh,
I went the game after that had happened, and I remember they were like getting on people about making a snake again. So um, I think they were playing the Giants too. So like I was kind of happy that they won because I'm an A's fan and I don't like the Giants.
yeah.
So it was nice to see the Giants lose, but no, it was a good time. And then I ended up going out downtown as well and like going to a couple of the bars, but hanging out with a bunch of people. So it was fun. It was a fun night. Let's just end that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the Cup Snakes are fun as well. I went to a Sox Cubs game at guaranteed rate for the Sox game, and people started making the Cup Snakes, and security would get on them like it was like I don't even know how to explain it. Like they created like the Cup Snakes like 3 or 4 times, and the security would come down every single
Yeah,
time and just take the cups, and then the same guy would start it the same way, and like he'd
yeah,
get it taken away again, and it would be a repeat. So it's funny seeing the Cup Snakes, just how they grow, and like
yeah,
that it brings everyone together as like a
yeah.
in the stadium, because like it's something fun to do.
Yeah, I think the next time I come up to Chicago, like next summer, I want to go to like a couple more Cubs games, but I actually want to go check out the White Sox Stadium as well too. Because every time driving into Chicago, I was like, man, I want to go to a Sox game because like you can see the stadium; it's right there
Yeah.
on the highway as you're getting into Chicago.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely have to make that trip happen next summer, and we'll go to a
Oh yeah,
Sox
for
game.
sure. Yeah, for sure. I'll just catch the train. I'll catch this train all the way from where I was staying right by the rink all the way down there. I
Yeah,
just won't get on
absolutely.
the A. I won't get on the A line.
Yeah, don't do that. That's a rough line. But where does Chicago pizza stack up compared to the pizza that you've had before?
Oh, A plus, man. What's that place? Giordano's?
Yeah, Giordano's.
Giordano's, yeah. I went there. I went there on the summertime with because the third time I came out there, I brought my girlfriend for like 2 days because she's never been to um Chicago. So she wanted to experience that. So we kind of had the whole weekend in Chicago. We went to the Bean, we went to the dock that's down there
Yeah,
with that
Navy Pier.
with the wheel. The Navy Pier,
Yeah.
yeah, I went there, and then we were gonna go to the Cubs game, but we ended up going to Giordano's instead. And that's where I put that picture out, like, who puts pineapple on a deep dish pizza? I was like, it's so disrespectful.
Yeah.
And
Not.
she thought it was funny, but no, deep dish
Mm,
pizza in Chicago is the best, hands down, hands
yeah.
down.
Pineapple does not belong on pizza, anyways. Hot
No,
topic there.
hot topic there. Yeah, we should start that on Instagram. Like, ask people, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Yeah,
Everybody will
well,
say
we'll start that right after this interview,
no.
right after this episode for sure.
Yeah, but no, I honestly, the place that you and me had went to, that place was good, but I was like, nah, Giordano's way better. It was
Yeah,
heavier too. It was
yeah.
heavier.
That was since I was in Elmhurst, like I didn't go that far, or like I was
Mhm.
in Park Ridge or something like that, and just I didn't go to that part of Park Ridge where that pizza place was, and it was just I thought it was a dine-in place, but it was like a takeout, right?
Yeah, that was the takeout place we went to, and then we just sat in my car. Like, we sat on the back of my car, and we were just eating the pizza. Like, people were just driving by, like, why are these guys just eating pizza in the back of this car?
Yeah,
Because it wasn't a dine-in place.
but it made for some good memories, and some good stories were told there as well.
Yeah, we did have good stories that were told that day. It was funny.
Yeah, absolutely. So, do you want to get into the viewer questions a little bit here?
Oh yeah, let's get into those.
All right. So, first question, favorite moment with Derek Bourgeon, with Bouge.
Favorite moment with Derek Boujan. There was a lot, but that guy just got on me like all the time. He had some funny jokes though. And plus he would bug me about a bunch of people that I hung out with too. So I can't say those stories. But favorite moment, that's tough. That's a tough one. I can't answer that. They're all good moments.
Yeah, for
He's all around. All around, he's a good guy. Oh, you know what? Honestly, favorite moment is when he took me to OHL game. When we went to OHL, like the Hamilton Bulldogs. Oh no, are they Bulldogs still?
yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah. We went to Hamilton OHL game, and it was just cool to like see him as a goalie coach. Like, he can pick goalies, and he can already tell what mistakes goalies make and stuff. There's a lot of funny moments with that guy. He's a workout. Like,
Yeah,
he's on some other level right now. Like, he's a goalie coach. He works out a lot, and he does motocross too. So like, the guy is like always into something. So it's kind of cool.
yeah, absolutely. Those are the you make the memories with anyone you're around, especially if they're good guys. Like just the
Yeah,
memories you make with them, like that's what makes it special.
yeah. I miss being around him and Jamie Phillips up there in Hamilton. I got to go back to Hamilton at some point, but since the borders are like all iffy right now,
Yeah, yeah.
we'll leave it at that.
Don't touch that until
We
it's open.
we won't touch that.
Yeah. But the next question is, how do you end up in New Zealand when you were playing in New Zealand? I'm sure you answered this on the first podcast that we did 2 years ago or
uh,
something like that.
Probably. I ended up in New Zealand right after juniors from my junior coach, because he was playing over there. He was a good guy. Him and his wife were going over there, and his wife's brother at that. Yeah, we all ended up going over there, and it was just a fun experience just to go play games before actually jumping to the pro level. You know, get ice time to see how it was over there, because a couple of SP and Coast guys went to either New Zealand or Australia in the summertime and play over there. So it was a good experience. I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Michael Albanese asked favorite part about summer training in Canada, which kind of relates to the booze
That
question.
booze thing, yeah. Again, actually, you know what? Seeing Booge chirp Michael all the time, that's the funniest thing, because they go at each other. Even if you listen to their podcast, I think it's called the Round Table,
Yeah.
and they just give it to him all the time. I miss that guy. He's a beauty.
Yeah, I remember listening to those episodes. Booge and Philly would just go at him and just chirp him the entire
Yeah,
episode.
they just chirp him every time, and it's so I feel bad, but it's so funny, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Favorite place you've lived and why?
Favorite place I lived, New Zealand is up there, but I love Raleigh. You know, I love I love being down there. Like I have a lot of friends down there. I like it down there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, who are your three favorite NHL goalies, past players, not currently in the NHL?
Past players,
Yeah,
Ray Emery is number one, obviously. Um, Manny Legacy and Patrick Waugh. Even though I was too young to like even see a lot of games of Patrick Waugh, Patrick Waugh.
yeah, those are some good picks. I
Yep.
remember watching all of them except Patrick Waugh because I was too young to watch him at that point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then the next question is, how do you get so good?
How do I get so good? You work your bag off every day at practice, even if you don't feel like going to the rink, and especially in the summertime. I had this conversation with my other goalie buddy back home in Raleigh. There's days that you don't want to work out or days that you don't want to skate. If you still go and get something out of it for at least 30, 40 minutes, you don't have to like bag yourself, but at least if
Yeah,
you get something out of it, you're still putting in the work. Like, trust me, I don't think I'm good or like great, but I know I put in the work on the ice and off the ice. And like there's days that like your mind's just spent. You still have to like try to find that extra gear and put in the work. Cause it goes a long way. Like if you already tell yourself, oh, I'm not gonna do it, you're done for the whole day.
yeah,
You're not gonna do anything. You're not gonna get better.
yeah, absolutely. That's a great response because you just got to work your tail off, do everything you
Yeah.
can in your power to get better and just keep pushing the boundaries that you provided and
Oh,
just keep getting better.
yeah. Oh, what happened? Oh, there we go.
There we go. So the next question is who's I believe this is the last question. No, we have a few more. Who is the best teammate you have ever had and why?
I know who asked this question. I know that's probably Jay Kinney. So Jay, if you are listening, you're like in the top three. I'll give you that. My favorite teammate has to be my boy Chase Fowlis. Has to be my boy Chase Fowlis. Good old Canadian boy right there. And plus we had lived together too. And like he's kind of another like a brother to me, basically, you know.
Yeah.
We always gave each other a tough time. Um, we always rode together to the rink sometimes, and he had a really he had a really bad car at that time. He was borrowing a car from somebody, but he had like one of those mini Toyota Corollas, and I would laugh because I had like a Highlander and then I have a Forerunner, and I just laugh about everything. But no, we spent a lot of time with each other, especially when the season had ended. We always hung out. We lived in the same house in Columbus, and then when COVID hit, and then he went back home, we were always on the phone with each other, or we were always playing Fortnite at that time, or playing Warzone. So, yeah, he was a great teammate. Jay Kinney,
Yeah.
don't worry if you're listening, you're in the top three, so you're there.
Always got to go with your boys for sure.
Yeah,
So all
yeah.
that matters. So then the final question of the day is what has been the biggest thing you learned this off season to help yourself grow as a person and an athlete?
Just like I said before, I the biggest thing was control what I can control. That's the biggest thing, and I try to teach a lot of kids that now, or like the younger goalies, especially where I am now with the junior team. There's the one goalie here on the NA3 team, and we always talk. The biggest thing that you can do as a person or player is control what you can only control. Like you don't need to go out and worry about like, oh, what type of day this is going to be. Am I going to give up a lot of goals? Like, how am I going to react? Or you can't think about, oh, why isn't coach playing me? Or why am I not getting enough ice time? Or like, why does this person think this way about me? Like, you just can't do that, you know? So the best thing, like I can always say that I've learned this summer is like, if you work hard, you work on your own game, you worry about your own self, that makes you a better person because sometimes you don't know deep down what you're going through, but sometimes you need to be by yourself and figure it out by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great learning point and everything that goes into it because you got to control what you can control and just control
Yeah,
everything that is in your power. Like the others is just
right.
out of reach. You can't do anything about that, but you can control everything that you are within control.
Right, because basically I can only do so much. My
Yeah.
job is to keep the puck out of the net. My job is to not let the other team score. So the more I worry or think about myself, the better. I can't go out and do somebody else's job. I can't do the
Yeah.
D job. I can't do the forwards job, you know? So the more I can worry about myself, the more I focus on my own game, my own craft, and you're 10 times better as a person.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. But this has been a lot of fun, Frankie. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time, and I want to wish you the best of luck with Danbury this season, and can't wait for you to come back to Chicago this summer.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.